What's up? This video is going to be about what to do when the police pull you over with a firearm in your car. I'm Jay, trigger trainer, a firearms instructor in Central Florida. I teach the CCW class, private weapons handling. I have been operating in private security for about the past 3 to 4 years now, something of that nature. Red Team Protection Services, if you're inquiring about security services and if you want to book a CCW class or a private weapons handling class, one, check out my page so you can actually see what knowledge and what skills I have, so that will hopefully entice you more. And then all the information to contact me is in the description down below. What we are going to talk about is the possession of a gun when the cop is at your window. It's pretty simple. It's not a big worry. Like, I've been pulled over, unfortunately, too many times, at least 7 times in the past year. Past 2 years. Definitely not that many. I think that's too many. Too many. Not 7. At least 5. Only 2 less, but at least 5. What you should do. 1, we're not a duty to notify state, right? You're not obligated to tell that officer immediately, hey, I have a concealed carry, it's in the glove compartment or center console, here's my concealed weapon license. You're not obligated to do that. They know the law. They know we're permitless carry. They're assuming that 80% of you have a gun in your car. They're expecting you to have a gun in your car. And every time I was pulled over, have interacted with the police in the car, they have not one time since we've gone permitless carry asked me about a gun in the car. Not one. Not a single one. Some people say that you should keep your hands at 10 and 2 and try to be very stiff and just don't make any sudden movements. If that's how the officer wants to be with you, respect it, treat it as so you can get out of there safe, they can get out of there safe. I'll tell you, even before we went permitless carry, there was a state trooper that pulled me over. I was like, hey, I got a gun in the car. He was like, are you trying to shoot me? No. He was like, all right, just give me your license. I don't care. That's how a lot of them are. Like, if you're not doing anything that makes them suspicious, and then you go, hey, Jay, well, how do I know what would make them suspicious? I would say fidgeting, like small fidgeting. If you're just really fidgeting and trying to adjust your shirt a little too much, adjust your clothes too much, that is going to be a tail sign right there. If you just stay relaxed, you don't need to have your hands at 10 and 2. I have a video where this is when I had the bad habit of vaping. Like, I'm reaching for the vape. I'm just doing things. I'm acting very normal.
Here's what I'm gonna.
Okay.
And then they'll dismiss it for you.
Cool.
Okay.
And I'm a firearms instructor. Can I ask you a question just for content? I said I'm a firearms instructor. Can I ask you a question just for content?
Sure.
Since we're like a month or a year into the permitless carry,
Yes, sir.
you didn't really ask when you came up about firearms or anything in the car, and they're like, 9 out of 10 times cops are gonna ask. You didn't. Can I just ask why?
Yeah, because you didn't make any like movement towards anything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's it.
I agree with carrying firearms, so I'm not going to infringe on your amendment. You know what I mean? Now, if it was a different situation, you're reaching around, I might ask you.
Yeah.
But as long as I can see your hands and stuff, there's no need to ask. I mean, you get it? Like, if you start reaching?
Yeah.
Because now you raise my suspicion.
Yeah, 100%.
But the whole time I've been able to see your hands. You haven't been, like, adjusting or anything like that. So every circumstance is different.
So you're not obligated to notify the officer by any means. Your driver's license is not connected to your CCW. Your driver's tag is not connected to your CCW at all. So when they run your plates, they don't know that you have a gun. That's not a Florida thing. When they run your driver's license, they don't know that you have a gun. I do think you can get your CCW put on your driver's license at the DMV. I don't know anybody that has done that, but I do think it's an option, or maybe it was just a rumor I heard, one of the two. I'm going to clarify how you should have your gun in the car. I made a video on it. It's done the best numbers in the huge, it's at like 104,000 now. That's the most views I've ever gotten on a video on YouTube. So I really thank you all for watching. And like I said, I read every comment. Even if I don't reply, I do read every single comment, especially if I can. Sometimes it just gets too much and I don't get the updates to reply back. So you might at least get one reply from me, or at least just a like or something. But some people said that I was pushing the statutory verbiage of the actual 790.25 bill, which talks about possessing a firearm inside of the car and how you should legally be able to do so. So what I did is I said, I don't want to give false information. I don't want to just think, oh, I'm right because I'm an instructor. Like, I don't want to do that. So I said, let me assume that they're right. Let me assume I know nothing and rebuild all of my knowledge up from that point forward. Let me go re-review case law. Let me go ask my cop friends again. Let me go read white pages by lawyers just to get a better understanding, especially since we've gone permitless carry. What I found shocked me. It shocked me. I won't even lie to you. I was like, wow, I've been teaching this kind of wrong since we've gone permitless carry. And it was just because of little things I don't know, which again, just humbled me a lot. Disclaimer, not a lawyer, a firearms instructor. I am legally allowed to teach a CCW class in all 50 states, but I only do Florida because even just now, like there's so many nuances that it's a lot. So what I found, since we have gone permitless carry, there is a Latin term that I can't really pronounce, but I will try to. And if I can't do that, I'm just gonna put it right here. It is called Legis Posterius Priors yeah, I'm done. Basically, what it means is that the last law passed is the last law that takes precedent if two laws contradict. So if there's one law that was the rule of the land for a while, and then they passed a new law, and this new law contradicts this old law, or this old law contradicts this new law, the one that was passed last, the new law, is the one that takes precedent. I said, okay, I didn't really know that. So how I would describe it to all of you is, even if you have a CCW, you must securely encase it and make it and have it or not readily accessible. That was how I knew it. That was how my cop friends interpreted it to me as well. I'd literally just asked them about that because I said, hey, I want to make sure I'm not giving false information. When I read the lawyer's website, I realized I was wrong. I realized he was wrong. He's been practicing, he's been a cop for 13 years. Nothing against him. It's just they have a lot more to deal with than this particular nuance of the law. So, since we are permitless carry and the bill said that you are allowed to carry a concealed weapon on or about your person without a permit, that statute of 790.01 does not require that you securely encase or make the firearm not readily accessible. It does not require that. In 790.025 or .25, on page 40 of it, it starts to say that any other firearm can be carried in the car as long as it's carried for a lawful purpose. And then the law shall liberally be construed to authorize the carrying of a concealed weapon or concealed firearm on or about the person if they are allowed to do so by 790.01. So if you're 21 years of age, you have nothing prohibiting you from carrying a firearm, and you're allowed to legally get a concealed carry license and you can permitless carry, you can carry inside of a car just the same way as somebody that has a license. It does not require that you securely encase it. Now, if you're 18 to 20, caveat, I hope you're still here. If you're 18 to 20, you are required to still securely encase it because you are not a person under 790.01 that is allowed to conceal carry a firearm on the person. So if you are between 18 to 20, center console, glove compartment, and snapped inside of a holster, and then concealed. Which brings me to my next and most revealing topic of all of this. If you are 21 plus, the only criteria that you have to follow inside of the car for a handgun, specifying that, is to keep it concealed. As long as it is hidden from the ordinary sight. And again, people would argue me. So what they said I was pushing was I said that I would always keep my firearm in the holster, securely encased. Shout out to Vader Holsters. You guys can get your holster from them. They're located in Mount Dora. Use code TTA10 to get 10% off. It's July and they're running a bigger deal right now. So if you use code BANG, you can get 20% off of anything. Try to see if you can combine them. Maybe you get 30% off. I think they're smarter than that. But either 20% off, and then after you use that one, you can get 10% off. Use code TTA10. Anyways, I always keep my firearm securely encased in the holster because the statute says snapped in a holster. Again, sounds like a snap to me, again. And then I would put it in front of my seatbelt buckle. A lot of people would tell me that this is open carrying. It can be seen with the ordinary sight. So the Supreme Court made a decision, and I'm going to overlay it on the screen. I won't say a decision, they basically gave a general statement that says, concealed does not mean invisible. It does not mean it has to be completely invisible from the ordinary sight. And when we're talking about the ordinary sight, this needs to be the ordinary sight of a normal individual in a normal association of life, other than a police officer. A police officer is specifically looking into your car, looking at your person. They are trying to find probable cause or reasonable suspicion to see if crime is afoot. A normal citizen does not have that power Therefore, we have to separate those powers in determining when a cop is looking versus when an ordinary citizen is looking. My argument and logic has always been if I'm driving, nobody can see my seatbelt buckle. I have never seen the seatbelt buckle of another driver on the road, whether their windows are tinted or not. If my windows are tinted, it's even harder to see in, so therefore it is hidden from the ordinary sight. And that has also been studied under case law, whether a rifle carried in the passenger seat with tinted windows counted as concealed before permitless carry, obviously. And I believe they determined that it did not count as concealed at that point in time based off some other things, but that's a different statute we're talking about. We will talk about a rifle. So if your pistol is inside of the car, it just needs to be concealed. What is this? Why am I specifying this? A lot of you asked me about the holster that goes, the magnetic holster that goes under the driver's steering wheel, and if that's legal. If it's concealed, yes. Now, here's what I recommend you do. Here's where my logic has now gone and what my new recommendation and how I'll now start articulating this. I used to tell everybody, like, even though my firearm is securely encased, and this does count as being securely encased inside of the statute, I would always put it in the center console if I got pulled over because I don't want to get into a statutory debate with the police. I don't care if I'm right. I don't need a J versus United States case law to back me. I don't want it, don't need it, not about my, it's not for me. So I would always conceal it no matter what from them. I've always been fine. I even asked cops like, hey, if I'm carrying my gun here and then I move it before you guys get up there, like, do y'all care? They said, no, they don't care. Now, knowing what I know now after doing this deep research, which I thank you all for criticizing me so I could do this research, bandana. As long as it's concealed, which is hidden from the ordinary sight, meaning I cannot see that it is a gun, it is fine. There is no law against printing. So for those that want to carry under the magnetic holster or the magnetic, magnet that's under the steering wheel, I would say take the bandana or whatever you got. Bandana is just very thin. Magnets can easily work with this. It's not going to stop it. Attach it to the bottom, and like even if it's just hanging like this, can you tell that this is a gun? Nope. No, you cannot. It's a legal way because if you're 21, it's concealed from that point. If you want to carry in your cup holder, if you want to carry it at your seatbelt buckle, if you don't want to move it because you don't actually want to touch the gun, just find yourself a do-rag, a bandana, do-rag, a rag, whatever you got, a towel, put it in the center console if you really got to. If it's in your driver's door, just cover it up really quick while you're interacting with the police. And that's the reality of the situation. Like, is this legal? 100%. Like, this is legal law because concealed, hidden from the ordinary sight. We don't care if the firearm's in your pocket, if it's in your book bag, if it's on your ankle. As long as we don't see it, you're good to go. So if I cover it up with anything and it's concealed from the ordinary sight, I'm good to go. So that's my new recommendation there. But in reality, the only person that's going to charge you is a police officer. So when the police are interacting with you, yes, keep it concealed in the car. When the police are not interacting with you in the car, it's your private dwelling. Don't be waving the gun around in the window like you're just asking for it. But you're in a private car. Carry it wherever you feel like you need to carry it to successfully defend yourself, because we could argue that the securely encased requirement is actually a violation of Heller. Heller versus District of Columbia, which is a big precedent that came before Bruin. Those are two really, really landmark cases. Our securely encased can be considered a constitutional violation of Heller. Different story, different video. When it comes to the handgun, again, keep it concealed inside of the car. When the police are there, when they're not there, keep it wherever you need to keep it. Make sure you're being safe. The holster is my golden definition. If you have minors in the car, be mindful of those minors. Don't just let them have open access to the gun unless you really know them. Now let me go on a small rant, because this is where I think that Florida gun laws don't make sense. Your pistol is the only thing that must be concealed in the car. Pistol only. When I carry my long rifle right here, Mantis Blackbeard system, you can go check them out in the link down below. Great system right here. Practice dry fire with your rifle all the time. Automatically resets that trigger. Anyways, when a rifle is in the car, it doesn't need to be concealed. It doesn't need to be securely encased. I can have a fully loaded mag, one in the chamber, and be ready to fire at any point with my rifle inside of the car. 790.025 says that any other firearm that is carried for a lawful purpose can be anywhere else inside of the car, or you can carry any other firearm inside of the car as long as it's being carried for a lawful use. All right, I can lawfully carry my rifle for whatever use I want to, as long as I'm not committing a crime with it. It can be in the passenger seat, and it doesn't have to be concealed. It doesn't have to be hidden from the ordinary sight. It can just be there. Now, I've had a lot of people, again, tell me that I'm open carrying with the pistol by having it right there because it's on or about my person. The passenger seat, if I were to put my pistol in the passenger seat, it could still be argued as open carry because it's on or about my person. And they're demonizing the pistol, but they don't demonize the rifle. That doesn't make sense. Which is, again, where the logic goes into hand. And this is where I'm now really talking to the cops. Go read the statute real quick. Like, go read it. I'll put it, matter of fact, don't even, stay on the video. It's right here. It doesn't make sense that I can have a rifle openly in plain view, but if I have a pistol in plain view in my car, I'm going to get charged with open carry, or that's what you're going to try to bring against me. Granted, you might try to bring open carry against me by either one. It's not going to hold with the rifle 100%. I'll have to battle it for the pistol, but with the rifle, it will not hold 100%. That don't make sense, y'all. Like, that doesn't make sense. So, in reality, it's easier to defend yourself with a rifle in the car than it is to defend yourself with a pistol in the car. Keep the AR-15 inside the passenger seat and, like, go, if somebody is going there with you, like, you could take it there with them. Granted, that 5.56 223 round is moving at a very fast speed, so you're responsible for that bullet no matter where it goes. We don't have criminal or civil immunity, but yeah, I mean, it's easier to carry the rifle. There's less legal restrictions to carry the rifle than it is to carry the pistol. That does not make sense. We need more cohesive gun laws or common sense gun laws. Like, I'm sorry, but the NRA is trying to they're trying to sue the states over not allowing 18-year-olds to carry, but it's like, you're not changing the laws that actually matter. You're not changing the laws that people are getting charged for. Like, people are getting charged for open carry. That matters more than an 18-year-old being able to carry. I know people are going to not like me over that sentence and that sentiment. Separate video also got coming, but it doesn't, like, there are laws that mean so much more than just being able to carry at 18 or being able to buy a gun. Like, there's laws that matter so much more. There's laws that are actually pertaining to people's lives that are actually costing them felony charges, or misdemeanor charges, even charges period on their record. And you guys are not lobbying to actually change those laws and make amendments to those laws. You just care about somebody carrying a gun. I'm an NRA instructor. I'm a part of the organization. I don't know nobody in the higher ups. Everybody I know in the organization is black, just saying. But it just doesn't make sense. Like, we need, NRA, you need to do something, lobby against that. Like, do something more. USCCA, somebody lobby against the gun laws like this that don't make sense. I can get charged for open carrying my pistol in the car, or I'd have to at least battle it out in court. But if I were to have my rifle in plain view, if my pistol is in plain view, I can face a charge. If my rifle is in plain view, there is no charge. That does not make sense. In terms of self-defense, in terms of safety, that doesn't make sense. I'm going to end that rant right there because I can keep going about this one for a minute. If you want me to do a deeper video that goes into case law of each of these cases and talk about how different people were charged and what their outcomes were, comment that in the comment section down below and I will make that kind of video for you. That's pretty much it. I really appreciate all you guys for helping me grow the channel. We have shot up in numbers, like we're almost at 10,000 subscribers. I do think we're going to get to 10,000. While that is a big milestone, it's like I pretty much know we're going to smash that number immediately. Like, we're going to get there and immediately probably get to like 11,000. So the big milestone for right now is 20,000, but the major milestone is 100,000. Really appreciate all you guys. Like I said, Vader holsters, you can go and check them out. You can go and check out the Mantis X Blackbeard system. That is also down below. Dry fire mag, all the things down below. Check the description. There's a lot of useful tools in the description down below, so go ahead and check that out. If you need a defense lawyer and you're in Central Florida, Brandon Gans is in the description down below. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay on mission. I will see y'all in the next video.
This shit off the